Hey, it's Claudia from We're Just Two Sisters, and I am super excited to share with you today one of my latest large journals. And I call this A Woman's Heart. And it is very large and it is just absolutely beautiful and very, very filled with just so much wonderful things. Let me just show you how big this one is from a thickness perspective. So it's right at 4.5 inches wide, and it is 7 inches in length, but spectacularly, the spine on this one is really large. As you can see, the spine is 2.5 inches, a little under 2.5 inches. But what that means, of course, is that there is just so much in it. And so I'm super excited to show it to you. It on the cover, it has this beautiful photograph of this lovely African American woman. And when I call it A Woman's Heart, I started to call it the key to my heart. And that's kind of because it has this key, which I'll show you where that key comes inside. But I figured a woman's heart is just such a strong yet fragile thing. And I really thought that this journal, with as much writing space and things that it has inside, just would be perfect for a woman who wants to just record all of her thoughts and dreams and hopes and fears and so forth. I'm going to take this off because it goes inside. I'll show you that in a minute. But let's go ahead and take a look inside. This one has a detachable silk ribbon. That's that beautiful blue color. And as I said, it has this lovely photograph on the front. I've added this really cool vintage embellishment. It was an earring at one time, and I thought that it went really well with her outfit. And also I've added these three little flowers. It has a frame that's actually made out of a really cool piece of parchment paper that I had, that I coffee dyed a little bit and makes it look kind of old and vintage. It's sewn around the edges, both on the frame and on the background sheet. I loved this book. It has gold embossing or trim around the edge, which I wanted to leave because I just thought it was so pretty. I've added to the spine this lovely piece of lace trim that has the lace on the edges and then the embroidered on in the center. I've overlaid that over a piece of cloth, which I thought was really lovely with the blues. And on the back of this journal, you'll see yet another beautiful illustration or photograph with the same type of frame on a little bit of a different background sheet here. And I wanted to leave that a little bit plain so that it would not take away from the beauty of the photograph and the composition on that. So I'm going to turn it back over here. And let's go ahead and go inside because, as you can see, we have a lot to explore here. So let's check it out. I'm going to move this candle over just a little bit, give us a little bit more room here. So on the inside cover here, there is a absolutely beautiful folio. I'm going to pull it out. It goes in a little belly band here. This has a little jute tie on it. I'm just going to slip it off. It has a photograph that's sewn onto the front and a pocket with this dapper fellow here. There's so much about a woman's heart that can be recorded in this journal, things to remember about this day. And this could be just a super special day. It could be the day that this woman met her husband or met her partner. It could be her father's birthday. It could just be a very special day, a wedding, and so forth. So that's kind of a long portfolio, or a little folio there. And this we can just slip back on. I like to tie them a little bit loose so that it's easy to slip them back on as opposed to retying. And this goes into this belly band, just slides down as so. This journal has, I'm going to show you this. This is unusual for me. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. And that's primarily just because the spine on this one was just so big. But as you can see, it still closes very nicely, even with all of the things that I've included in it. And of course, things like to fall out of it as well. So we'll decide where that one goes. Oh, it goes right here. It opened right to the page where it goes. Look at that. So let's start from the beginning here. It has a lot of craft paper. I've included what I thought was kind of vintage or more Victorian types of paper, as well as vintage stationery, old magazines, ledgers, plenty of places for you to embellish, plenty of places for you to write. I've also included some of my own handmade paper using fibers that are plant material as well as paper and cloth fibers. Put a little bit of stitching on this one. Has such a great texture, and some of the ones that actually are lavender have a really lovely smell to them. I think this one is probably more daffodils or a yellow flower. This beautiful corner pocket here is covered with cloth and a cloth button. And inside it has this little folio of this gentleman in the military and 2 little girls. It has some book pages about peace and war, and you can see here, Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Has a little tablet, and on the back, the day's news, and it's all about different things about war. Now this little belly band, let me show you this, that holds this little folio together, can also just be glued to a page. So let's say you wanted to glue it here. You would just attach your glue here on the belly band, and you could attach it anywhere in the book that you wanted to. I've chosen on this one to just kind of leave it like that, and the belly band holds that together like a little binding. Here's a lace pocket. Inside the lace pocket, there's this beautiful little folio of friends or sisters or cousins, or just 2 lovely young ladies who are enjoying each other's company. It has a lot of fun little elements on it, some really cool little yarn here, a little blue bow. It's bound on the side with some material. Kind of has a bee background. When you open it up, it has a pocket with these wonderful gentlemen here. And in there, there's just a little writing space in that little card. And again, another little writing tablet here. You can move this stuff around and put it wherever you'd like to. I kind of liked it in here because you can a little bit see through and see their faces, and it makes it kind of unique and mysterious. And this little cloth pocket or lace pocket is sewn all the way around. Some unique stationery. As you can see, some writing paper, blank pages for continuing to embellish. I really like this spread. This is the center of the first signature. There is this beautiful photograph here of this lovely lady that I've sewn onto a really pretty piece of paper. I've added this little snippet of different colors or different types of fabric. and a little embellishment here that I just thought really resonated with this photograph. There's just so many different materials that you could make such a lovely dress out of. This is an interesting cloth covered pocket that has some jute kind of woven through some holes that I punched, and in here are some letters. I love this old ephemera. It's just so nostalgic. And here's like a postcard. And you can see that this one has a lot of lace. It's all sewn on, so it's not going anywhere. And most of it is just very unique and different. There are very few that are the same. Lots of pages, as I said, for you to do your own thing and make your own masterpiece. Here's the other side of that piece of handmade paper that I shared with you earlier. This is a fun collage of these just adorable little boys, and a 2-card, as well as some little string that's attached with a little brad there, some burlap with a button and some lace, and all on the background of this lovely paper and the vintage sheet music. This is a book out of a very old gardening book. It talks about different plants and trees, dogwoods, which is one of my very favorites. Again, more lace and more blank pages. This is a snippet from fabric and buttons that is glued onto this page. And it's cool because when you close it, you can see some of the little things that hang over the edges. A pocket that has a really cool photograph of folks having fun dancing, some little rivets here, and a embossing on the pocket itself. The pocket contains some music-themed little tags. Trumpet player, Willis Jackson, Eddie Mack, Sunday, April 30th, 1950. That's a $1.50 ticket. And then here's an old ad. So I thought those were cool in that little collage of pocket. This is a side pocket that I've included this really fun little tablet folio. It has a pocket that's sewn on, has some really cool butterflies, and I just loved this. It's just so historic, and I just really, really liked this collage of different photographs. And you open it up, and it has a writing space here. And this just slides down into that pocket. And now we're starting the second signature. There's a pocket here that has these adorable young men just hanging out at the car. And there, it looks like they're Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. I love that photograph. They all look so serious, don't they? Has a little receipt in here from Boston Corsets in San Francisco, California. There's also some pages out of a book I purchased that is notable African Americans from throughout history. So there's some folks here that you can read about. Some graph paper, writing paper, interesting stationery, pages out of an old July 22, 1923 Los Angeles Times. Here is a lovely little folio with these gorgeous ladies all dressed up. I don't know where that is, but it's a very interesting building in the background. And this one has a little pocket here, or a little belly band that has a tablet, and yet another tablet here with quite a bit of paper inside. And this one slides down into this belly band like so. Here's the one that tried to get away out of the journal a minute ago. She is just wonderful with her new bicycle. There's a piece of vintage cloth and a button. I love the little corners here for the photos. I actually found a little box of some old ones I was pretty thrilled with. This has a tablet with two little pockets. The two little pockets have these really fun photos. Hopefully you can see that well, but it's just these schoolgirls, I think, probably college girls, just having fun taking that picture. My grandson's getting ready to go off to college here soon, and boy, how time flies, right? Look at this little guy with his cart and his goats. Just fun photographs. I'm so fortunate sometimes to find these unusual photographs, and I like to share them in my journals. So much of the time I want to keep them, and then I'm like, why would I do that? Why don't I share them in the journals? This is a piece of my own eco-dyed paper using foliage from my garden. Here's a side pocket made out of paper that is an old newspaper. This one has a cool little folio that basically has this string that wraps around. And when you open and look at the picture on the front, it's like a ladies' auxiliary or a church club, but they all look so awesome. All dressed up. Back in the day when women dressed up. I miss that. Has some sheet music here. And I think when I first saw that photograph, I think I've kind of thought it was church ladies. So this is a hymn here. By and by, I'm going to lay my heavy burden down. And inside this little card is just some writing space with some school-lined paper. Has this really cool button on the front. I've used a lot of kind of burlap in this one. I just thought that it went really well with the design and the composition of this one. So this guy just wraps around once and then just tucks down in between, holds it together like so. And I have decided to put this one in here, but again, you know, these can be placed anywhere in the journal that you like. They can be removed, used for some other purpose in another journal, or whatever you choose. So this one, because it's so fat, I wanted to include a writing pad. So if you haven't seen my writing pads before, they look like this. They're very hard chipboard, covered in some really pretty design paper. And what you do with these is sometimes it's hard to write on a page because it's bumpy behind it, because there's different things and different textures. So you simply take your writing pad, slip it in between the pages that you want to write on, and then you have a really nice writing surface that you can write on. It makes it really easy, and you don't have that bumpiness to contend with. So this writing journal or writing pad has a little key attached to it. It's great to hang it over the edge so that you can find your writing pad. And I typically like to put the writing pads in that space between the signatures. They fit really well in there. The book closes really easily. So that is your writing pad. Let's go on to the next signature. Lots of space, different pages. Here's a vintage piece of stationery. You could tie a little ribbon in here. In fact, I may do that before I give this one to its new owner. This is a little altered paper clip, as you can see here. Could clip anywhere. It has a little belly band on the front with a little folio, and it also has this lovely card in the pocket. So it's a pocket and a belly band on an altered paper clip. And that can be clipped onto any page that you would like it to be clipped onto. Center signature, a lovely pocket here, and with this extremely handsome fellow that goes down into this band with the beautiful lady. And I thought she just kind of looked like she was thinking of him. And again, from a woman's heart, what a story that picture tells. Some really pretty lace here and a sewn on vintage button. Sheet music, old stationery, garden book, graph paper. Here's another pocket. This pocket has this extremely beautiful photograph here that I've actually cut out of the photo and placed on this really pretty paper with the crown. And she looked like such a princess to me. And in here is some really beautiful stationery that is certainly available for you to write on. This side pocket here, I've included this vintage hanky, and it just tucks into this pocket like so. More of my eco dyed paper. Here's some forest type images, different pine trees and pine cones. This is what I meant by tying a little ribbon through those holes on that other side of that stationery. An old backing for some sheet music. This side has a pocket that's made out of an index card. It says Fearless. On the illustration, it is a photograph of the Star Detective Agency. Looks like maybe back in the 30s. I'm going to say 30s or 40s. In the pocket, there's a couple of cards. One is Dream of Joy, and the other is a little ticket. Third class fare, Donegal to Adara Road. I think maybe it's a bus ticket. Some cool stationery. Here is the center of this signature. And in this, I have attached this lovely cloth-covered butterfly that I made. And I loved the fabric. I made one other here that just really cool fabric. And they're just mounted on cardboard, and they're enough to where they're a little bit pliable so that I can, and I've sewn around the edges here. This one, by the way, if you wanted to insert something into the side pockets, you can do so. Let me show you that. So if you had a little tag or a little something, these side pockets are left open. So you can put some things down into both of those, anything that you would like to do so. Both of the wings actually turn into pockets. So I may add a few things to those pockets before I actually put it in the Etsy shop, but I wanted to just show you that you can do that. This journal had a secondary little clip, a little altered paper clip as well that I wanted to include. And this has a little corner pocket with a tiny little tablet in it. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on this page. And it can go whatever way that you might want it to go. I'm going to put it at the top here. And again, as you can see, the paper clip just goes over the top of the page. But just to illustrate that for you, this can go as a side as well. Now it has a top pocket. If you were to put it on this side, it would have a bottom pocket. So there's lots of things you can do with the little altered paper clips, and I surely enjoy making them. So here's some ledger paper. Again, more stationery. A really pretty piece of stationery with a rose. Here's a really fun belly band, and here is the folio that goes into that. It's made from sheet music. It also has this fun little lacy tab with a clasp here. You open it up and it has a pocket. In the pocket is this beautiful photograph with the background being Silent Night. And that goes there. And then on this side it has a really cool little tablet. Rock of Ages is the song on that. And this one goes into this belly band like so. And you can leave it hanging out a little bit so you can see her beautiful face. Here's some of that same material that you saw on the spine. I thought that material was so pretty. Eco-dyed paper, craft paper, lots of lace, more eco-dyed paper. Here's a page out of an old book, a rare black motif on a Christmas greeting by Illustrated Postal Card Company. Very old. Just some book pages. Here's a cool like piece of cigar box. On that other side of that, there is a slit pocket with some really cool material and an old vintage button that has this wonderful gentleman, as well as a couple of other items, a stamp, a ticket, and just a little piece of ledger paper that you could write on the inside. I really like the slit pockets. They just give you such a great opportunity to create a little collage. Stationery paper, homemade paper, center of the next signature. Excuse me. And this one has some tickets and a little tablet. I'm sorry. Circle pocket. I really enjoy making these little circle pockets. They're just made out of a round circle and there's a certain way to fold them. This one has a receipt, a little card for first aid, a photograph, a ticket, a couple of other little tags, and a pretty whimsical little bow there. And this is attached to the handmade paper. Piece of tracing paper that I love because you can see through the paper. Another little slit pocket with a pretty butterfly. Some really fun little tags. This one has a jar full of flowers. Here's a cool photograph of some children and their teacher. Actually, I think this one went down in here. A ticket and a little tag. Lots and lots of pages that you can record your thoughts on and write stories, poetry, draw pictures. This page, I loved this is an piece of eco-dyed paper using my flowers from my garden. And I've attached this really cool photograph. I think it's a passport picture. And added this lace and have sewn the lace on in kind of a swirl there that give it a little more depth and texture. And we have now come to the back cover. I love this craft paper here with the travel motif. And here I've added a little pocket here that's made out of a file folder, sewn all the way around the edges. Says alphabets on it, has some really cool calligraphy. And I've included in this one of my vintage postcards. I was lucky enough to buy an entire lot of very vintage postcards at an estate sale. And like I said before, as much as I'd like to hold on to them, I would prefer to add them here and there in my journals and give someone else the opportunity to love and treasure them. So that's what I've added on the back cover. And then again, the very back of this journal has this beautiful photograph that is behind the window, if you will, or the frame. Take a look at the spine again. I love this journal. It was time consuming because it is so big, but well worth every hour that I put into it. So um, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to buy this journal, it will be in our Etsy shop, probably later on today or tomorrow, and they don't last very long. I'm humbled by how much people enjoy these journals and how quickly they sell. It's just so amazing to actually get some monetary value out of your hobby, something that you fully enjoy and love doing. So thank you to all the customers. Thank you to the folks that like our videos and our YouTube channel. Check out the Etsy store. It's www.we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com. That's we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com with the number 2. Tell your friends about our YouTube channel, and especially if they're folks that are interested in journals, and there's always something new to see. So hope you come back soon, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much.